What's up everyone, this is Leah with Wisdom Rich, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make your own product label at home. First thing you want to do is find out the dimensions of the label you're creating. I'm doing my label on this bottle, so I want it to be right here in the front. So I already did the measurements and it's going to be about a 3" by 3" square label that I'm creating. The next thing you want to do is go to your computer and open up Adobe Photoshop. Alright, so I'm open here in Adobe. Alright, so here is my Adobe Photoshop screen. Once I open here, I am going to start with 1000 by 1000 pixels. Alright, and this is going to be a blank square. So I am using white as the color, so I go down here, there's this little black box, and I'm going to pick my color of my background, and I am starting with white. So I got it over here. You can go red, you can go white, black. And if you need more colors, just over here on this color scale, you want to use those to determine the color you want. So I'm just starting with a basic white. My logo is very basic. It's black text on a white background. So I go, okay. And then great. Okay, as you can see here, this is a basic square, so it's going to be good for when I create that label, the 3 by 3. I go up here and I choose, I'm going to do black text, like I said. So I go over here, the same as when you started, click OK. Alright, now once I'm here on my screen, you go over here to the text tool and you click text. So this is where I am placing my product brand title. So this is going to be Wisdom Clean right here. So I go and I create my box. And you can extend this a little bit if you need to. Alright, and 170 is a little bit big, so I'm going to do about, let's do about 70. Let's see what that does. So what I just did here, you can do it up top for the text, or you can do it over here on the side. I always use the side because these drop down menus kind of cover up my screen right here. Over here, like I said, I changed it, the text to 70. So then I click right here where my text box is and I type wisdom. Alright, now this is a little bit small and I want it to be bigger. So that's where you just go over here and you mess with the text to see how big you want it. So let's do 150. Let's see how big that is. Alright. And then I'm changing the font. So right here, it was all automatically set at impact. So you just decide whatever text that you want for your title. Or if you already have a logo, this is where you're just going to drag it into place and size it down to scale. Like I said, I am creating mine from start to finish, so I'm just going to find the text that I want. I already looked at this, so I'm doing, let me see, it's down here, it starts with an F. Okay. So this is the text that I'm going with. So this is my wisdom. Alright, still want that a little bit bigger. I want it to be most of the screen. Let's go 200. I'm going to make sure it's highlighted to change the sizing, or to change the font, make sure that you highlight the text. So I'm going to go with 200. Alright, and that's a lot better. So this is almost taking up the full size of the screen. Now to drag it, you want to go up here to this tool. It's about 4 arrows. It looks like it's a compass. So it's the move tool. You click on that, and I'm dragging it to about the middle of the screen. Alright, and in this case, I love how it's straight, but I want a little slant to it. So what you do if you want to just slant the text in Adobe Photoshop, you go to a corner and see how right here my mouse changes to a bend. That's what's going to get you to be able to change it to a slant. So like I said, you gotta wait, see right there? You can move it however you want. So I'm just going to tilt it up slightly. So probably about right there. Alright, and then whenever you're done, you want to come up here and click the check. Alright, so for the next part, Wisdom Clean is my brand name, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put clean. Alright, and I'm keeping this the same exact size at that 200 font. I'm going to slant this one to the same thing. So that last one was at about 3 degrees. So there it is at 3. Come up here and click the check mark. Alright, so as you can see, that is my brand title on the product label. So like I said, a lot of times if you already have some type of format of a PDF or a JPEG, that would be your brand logo. That's where you would go ahead right there and just drag that in, resize it, and you're good to go. Alright, so for step 2, I'm going to come in with my product name. So in this case, it's a stain treatment. So that's where I'm going to go ahead and show you next. Alright, so this is the same thing. You just come up here to the text box tool, right here, this T. I'm coming right here with it, right underneath my title. And this I don't want as big, so I'm going to go on the font about, let's say, 125 and see what that does. Alright, so this is going to be for the product stain treatment. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Make sure you highlight your text if you're changing the font or the size. And I'm keeping this the same font as well. Let's just do 100. Perfect. Alright. So I'm happy with all of this. This one I'm going to keep straight. Right here I did a little slant here so the title can stand out from what I'm doing here with what the product name exactly is. This is the stain treatment. Alright, and the next thing I'm going to add in is how many ounces the stain treatment is. So I'm coming right beneath the stain treatment. I'm going to make this a lot smaller. Let's do about 18. And that bottle is a 16-ounce bottle. And I'm putting it in. So let's do the full ounces. Alright. I'm going to change this font. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger as well. Barely see it. I don't want it to be too visible, so I'm going to keep it there at about 30. And I'm going to change the font. When you're deciding what fonts to use, just make sure it's something that is branding you. If you're branding yourself, it can easily be branded to others. So I know a lot of times like cursive fonts, especially when you're doing small information, in this case like the 16 ounces, I wouldn't do a cursive font here because I'm branding. So I want to keep something very basic so they can understand exactly how many ounces, and then keep it separate from what I already did with my title and the product name. Let's just keep going. Alright, I like that right there. So I'm going to click that. And then I'm going to make this bold as well. Okay, so I'm going to drag it to the center. I want it right underneath the stain treatment. Alright, so like I said, I'm going with a very basic label to start for my product. So this is done with the PDF file, and I'm going to now export it out. Alright, so this is basically a very simple label like I had said. So I'm going to go up here to File, Save As. Alright, and I'm going to label this the stain treatment label. Alright, so when you save it the first time, it just saves to Photoshop. So what you need to do to export it is go up here to File, go down to Export. If you want to do a quick export, it exports right there. It's a PNG. I always like to keep mine JPEGs. So I go to Export As. Okay, cool. So this is where exactly you're going to see how your label is. I can see down here that my 16 ounces isn't exactly centered where I want it with the stain treatment. So if there's any changes that you want to make, it's always easier to see it right before you export for me in the screen. So I'm going to cancel this export. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to drag this over a little bit. File Save. File Export, Export As. Alright, awesome. Okay, so I'm very happy with this label. I'm going to go up here to Format, it's automatically at PNG. I'm going to change it to JPG. Alright, and like I said, the image size is 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels, and export all. And I'm going to export this to my desktop. Whenever I'm working with something, I like to keep everything in my desktop. I'm going to export it as stain treatment label to my desktop. Okay. Alright, so that's all exported. Let me see if I'm happy with what came up. Alright, so this is it. This is my product label, and now I'm going to teach you how to format it so you can print your own labels at home. Alright, so there I am. There's my label. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to exit Photoshop. I've learned it's easiest to create and keep. I already saved it, so don't save. Alright, it's easiest to keep it in Word because you have so much more space and you can make sure that everything is lined up, and honestly you can make it bigger and it allows you to use more of whatever label you are using. Alright, so I'm going to start with just a basic Word document. Choose that. Go up here to File. So File, Page Set. Alright, and I'm going to do this horizontal. So if you want to keep it vertical like this, just keep it there, that's your automatic. If you're changing it to a horizontal, right here to the orientation, click OK. Alright, and what I like to do, like I said, is fit as many labels as I can on one sheet. For me, the simplest label sheet to use is a full label sheet. So in this case, I use a full letter size sheet of a label. And on this side is the label, and it's just a blank mat. You can get gloss if you want, if that works for your printer. And this allows me to do as many labels on one sheet as I can and to cut them on my own. Alright, so what I come up here to do then is, so I don't waste all this margin space, I come up here to Format, Document. Alright, now once you're here, as you can see, so at the top there's already about 1.5 inches, an inch to the left and the right. I bring these as low as you can, so I'm going to bring this down to about 3.3, bottom, 0.3. And if it can't go that low, it will let you know. But in this case, I'm pretty sure we're close. So once you get that to as low as you can, you click OK. Alright, so as you can see, I don't have all this room up top, on the bottom, and on the sides. So what I'm going to do now is, this is what I like to keep right here. That document that I just bust out of my stain label. I'm going to bring it over here. The reason I really like to use Word so much is because it allows you to see the dimensions. So when I'm creating my labels, it's very simple and easy to see, okay, what type of label size I'm going to get. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to do a 3" by 3". When you do this, to not distort any of this, you want to make sure you're resizing it from the corners. So any of these corners you can do, I always go down here to the bottom right, so this just stays where it's at in the corner. So this is what I'm going to do. And grab this. Make sure your picture, like I said, is highlighted. Alright, now I brought it in to about 3" by 3". Maybe it'll come in a little bit more. There we go. Alright, so this is what I have right here. So when I print this on the full sheet, this is going to be 3" by 3". I'm going to go ahead right here. I'm going to right click, Format Picture. Now when I format my picture, you go to Layout. You can do behind text or in front of text. For me in this case, I'm going to do in front of text. Click OK. This just allows you to move it around and be really flexible when you create. Like I said, I'm trying to get as many as I can on one sheet. This is easy, and it allows you to get the most in with your labels to create no waste. Right click again and copy. Right, now this is where it's really easy. You just paste. So paste on top of the last one. So you just need to drag it. Alright, I think I can get about 3 across. Alright, I'm going to move this up a little bit. I can still see all of my text. So I'm going to come a little bit off of the screen when I'm repositioning these. Like I said, my text is still on there. I'm trying to get as many as I can on one sheet. Alright. Come down. And the reason too that I had, when I started and I went to format picture, allows me to repaste these and move them very easily instead of having to do it for each one that I'm pasting. Make sure that you do that at first before you copy and paste. Alright, so there's another one. Make sure in each one you're not covering up any type of text and it looks clean. So this is where I will be cutting right here, cutting down and cutting down so I can see everything right here. Alright, so this is it for my Word document. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to export this to be able to print it on my printer. Alright, so I'm going to go up here to File Save. You could have did this earlier on if you wanted to save it earlier on, but I'm doing it right now. Alright, so I'm saving as my Wisdom Clean Stain Treatment 16 pounds. Make sure when you are saving that you save, so if you have like a certain number that you're going by with products and you have several of them, make sure you save this in your title so you can find it easily so you don't have so many things by a different name. So this is really important when you are saving things. Right, I'm saving to my desktop. So I switch that to my desktop. And this right now, I love to save the document first, so I always have it if I need to make any changes. So I saved that document first, so I always have that if I need to move anything around. Now I'm going to go to File, Save As Again. Now the format I am saving is going to change now to PDF. This allows me for easy printing to always have it and print and go. So to my desktop as well. Alright. Alright, so there you have it. You now know how to create a label at home for your business or for your product. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe or like this video. Leave us comments with any of your questions for the next video. See ya.
Something about myself that I once loved.